Hello and welcome back everyone to another episode of Swing Shift Trades. So for anyone new to this channel, my name's Matt. I've been trading for over 5 years now, coming from a background of very little knowledge up to being a profitable trader. And what a journey that's been. So this channel is really aimed at beginners and intermediates, and really what the goal of this channel is to compress the time frame and to give you some information so that you can be up and running as soon as possible, and to give you ultimately a shot at being a profitable trader. So of course, as we go along, I give you insights into my strategy, how I plan my day, how I pick stocks, how I transfer them to my watch list, and ultimately how I make a decision to buy and when to sell. So if that sounds interesting for you, I post a video every week so you can come along with me, get used to my routine, and then you can start to build your own strategy over time. So in this episode, what I really want to do is go through a trade I took last week. Did it work out? Didn't it work out? Why did I take it? When did I sell? So that you can get a feel of my thought processes. And then I'm going to skip along, and as I speak, it's Monday, so I'm going to be picking my stocks, looking through the stocks available to put some on my watch list. So you can go through that process with me, and hopefully you'll find that helpful. So let's hop over to the chart, shall we? So anyone who follows this channel knows that I pick my stocks relatively manually. So the reason I pick my stocks manually is because it keeps me trained. It gets me used to looking at the charts. So more about the charts a bit later. So I use TradingView as a platform, and anyone who follows this knows that I really look for shares between $2 and $6. So I'm a swing trader, so I try and catch trades at the bottom, waiting for the upswing. And that is why my second tab here that is highlighted, I look for big drops. And at the moment, I've got anything over 10%. So this is on the screener, the stock screener of TradingView. So if you open that tab and put these variables in, then you'll get all the stocks listed. And really, I'm really interested in this column here. It's performance over the past week. And you can see I really look for stocks that have lost all the way down to about 20%, depending on how many are available. And again, they're all $2 to $6. The reason I choose that is that if you're using a small account, which I do use here for training purposes, but for this, it's just to train on with you with a small account. And with a small account, with a cheaper price, A, you get more volatility, so you can look for those swings, and B, you can buy more shares. So that's why we're using a small account here. Right, so we've got some big movers here. We've got stocks that have gone from 56% all the way down. I'll stop at about 20%. So again, anyone who watches me knows I will look through all these stocks and I look at the chart and I go through the charts and look for oscillations. I look for those stocks that interest me, and then I'll transfer them to my watch list. So anyone who wants to do that, then you've come to the right place. Let's get stuck in. So this is the first one, SRXH. Let's have a quick look. So right click, open super charts. Again, a reminder, I've got, this is my chart setup. I work on the 4-hour time frame. I'm a swing trader, and I use just two technical indicators, the MACD and the RSI. I've explained them in past videos as well. So the point being here, I'll repeat it until I'm blue in the face. Nothing replaces you just looking at the charts and getting used to the price action going up and down. Indicators, MACD, are really here just to give me some extra reassurance when the time comes. So let's look at this chart. 4-hour candles. There's been a long history of not much movement. It's been pretty stable. You've had this peak and then it's dropped down. But what I'm really looking for are these smooth oscillations up and down. And more importantly, a history of those oscillations. That gives me more confidence that it's going to happen again in the future. Do I see that? Simply no. It's crashed, but there's no other area of support here. So I will not take this. So that's gone. So I close that chart down, and then we're back to our screener, moving down. This one's dropped by 52%. You get the idea now. We're going through them. It's Monday now, so I do it on a Monday or even a Sunday, ready for the market open. So again, just adjust the drawings. Usually I'll plan to just look at the charts themselves because I don't want any distraction, not even from my indicators. And again, what you can see with this on the 4-hour chart, there's been a long decline. But again, there's no evidence of this oscillation, which I'm after because that's my strategy. If it doesn't fit my strategy, not interested. That's a no. Here we go down to the third. So you get the picture. You just go through all the way down to my 20% cutoff. That is my rule. So I'm opening this. I'll just adjust the drawings. Again, we've got this long history of the share sort of going down. Then there was an uptrend here, reaching a peak, and then it's dropped back down. But again, there's no repetition here. Doesn't fit that. That's not what I'm after. I'm after oscillations up and down. Not seeing it, it's gone. So you have to be so brutal with your strategy. There we go. Next one. Right, this one's a bit more interesting. So there have been, I'm just, you can zoom in and out here, these movements over time. I'll just exclude my indicators. So the price action went up, it's dropped down, it's gone back up, it went down, but there's been this large crash, but there's no previous area of support here, so there's nothing for me to benchmark. So although instinctively you might think this might be ready for an uptrend, I like to see some history. So this is a no for me again. So for the sake of efficiency, I'm going to rapid screen these and I'll get back to you if any come up that are positive. I've already shown you those that aren't interesting to me, so I'll go through these quickly. Otherwise, it will take too much time, and then I'll come back to you if I find some that are interesting. So hello again, we're back, and I have just opened this stock, GTAI, and you can see here it's got some elements that I'm interested in. So there are these oscillations up and down and up and down, up and down. So there's been this consistent area of support. So if I was reading this, I might have expected it to drop and then go back up, but it didn't. And this is one of the things with trading and indicators. It's not 100% reliable. And anyone who says they can predict the market 100% is not telling the truth. But here we go. What happened here is it just did break through this area of support, but there is evidence that there might be another area of support here, and it looks like it's coming on the up. So I will now look at my indicator here, and you can see one of my indicators is the MACD. So this is my primary indicator. It's a simple momentum-based indicator. Lots about it in my other videos and also online. I'll go through it again another time. But basically, when I'm looking for this crossover in moving averages and looking for momentum, increased momentum, is indicative that price action might be moving. And if it's green, it might be in the right direction. That is, price action is increasing. So both of these things are aligning to me. So I will put this on to my watch list. Close that down. It will take me back to the screensaver. Right click. I usually mark it with you label it and then add to watch list. And there we go, it will appear here. So after that, we keep going. We're down to 27% drop in the last week. So let's see if there's any more interesting stocks. This one has been on a downward trend. There was a massive movement upward with the price action. There's it's very choppy. There's big candle movements here and very choppy. Not much repetition, not much consistent support there. So that's a no for me, another no. Just try this one. There we go. The price action's moved up in the past. It's moved down again. No real area. You could argue there's an area of sort of, well, resistance here. But again, let me just see the indicators. My MACD is indicating there might be an upswing, and it has dropped. But it's not typical of my trade because I like to see this longer history. But it has been dropping for a while. So this is a D grade trade for me, or would be a D grade. I'll put it on my watch list to just for completeness, but I'm not very hopeful about that. So I'll keep going and get back to you if I see another interesting one. So I've just seen this stock, EOSE, and again there's been this sort of history of oscillation up and down. There's been a couple of areas of support here, and also it looks like there might be an area of support down here. So these are not perfect oscillations, but it's like smaller oscillations within a larger oscillation. But there's a possibility that this is going to come down and then go on the upturn. There's another broad area of support here. So this is when I would open up my indicator, just zoom in a little. And what I'm really looking over is for this crossover in momentum. It has happened, but it's pretty weak at the moment. So that's indicative of these green candles. So it's quite weak, but I'd keep my eye on this for a more rapid uptrend in momentum. So I will put this on my watch list. But at the moment, it's not a particularly good stock, but I'll put it on my watch list just for completion. So that one I would give a C grade to at the moment. So we close that down. And then here, right click and add to watch list. There you go, it appears here. So I'll keep going. So yet another stock here, NRGV. Again, there's this up and down oscillation that it's had, but within that, there seems to be this broad area of support down here. Can you see this? So this is something that interests me. So again, I'll put that on my watch list for further analysis. So again, I'm not making any decision here. That's important. It's just going on my watch list, and then we'll refine that decision further. So again, NRGV, close that. Go to NRGV, add that to my watch list, and there we go. So I hope you get the idea here. The whole process of this keeps you looking at the chart. I know there are algorithms and screeners. I've semi-screened the stocks here, of course, $2 to $6, 10%. But I personally, my approach is to keep familiar with the price action and the charts. That's the most important thing to give you experience. And that's the way I do it. And once I've made my decision, then I'll go through these more thoroughly with my indicators and make a decision. So that's it. I've screened down to about 20%. And from all that, I've got 4 stocks on my watch list. Oh, sorry, just to open up my charts. And there we go. And just go through them quickly. So just a quick recap. Good oscillation here. There might be an upswing here. There's an area of support. So yeah, that deserves to be on there. This one is a bit more tenuous. There's sort of an area of support here, but it's not particularly clear. But it's been dropping for a long time. I wouldn't like to see that drop any steeper, by the way. I'm not a fan of anything that's too steep, but it might well be on the upturn. If I turn my indicators on, you can see that downward momentum is reducing, might click over. But again, I'm working on the price action. Your indicators are supplementary to your decision. Let's go on to the next one. It's been on the downtrend for quite a long time, this one, but it's a fairly slow mover. But again, there's a broad area of support here, so one might expect that to be on the upswing. There is some support with this, with the momentum indicator. I'll keep my eye on it. And this one, again, another broad area of support here, might be on the upswing. So again, they are my 4 stocks. So what I would do now, and we'll do in the next video, is we'll go through these in depth Then I would add alerts at appropriate times, and then I would make a decision which one of these, if any, to make a trade on. So stick around for the next video and I'll tell you what I did with these. So that will be really useful for anyone who's an intermediate or a beginner. So just to finish off, this is a trade that I took last week. This was using my small account. As any of you who follows this knows, I use a small account for training for this intermediate and beginners because there is no way that I would want you to lose money. So just as a reminder, if you are a beginner, please use a paper account first, and only after, in my opinion, about 6 months, then transfer over to using small amounts of money. The golden rule being, don't use money you can't afford to lose. So this is out of the small account. I do also have my main big trading account, but this is what I want to impart on those who are at beginner level. So this was a positive. I think there's about £1,000 in this account, made a $91, and you can see I got in because there was an area of support here that was just off to the left. You can't see it here, but again, the momentum was up and it was a good call. It came up to about here. Although the indicators look good, I could see that there was some choppiness and a lot of jumping around with the real-time price action here, so I decided to close that with a 91 USD profit off £1,000 account. So as we go through these trades again and again and again, I'll impart that decision-making process, why I decide to get in and get out. So for any intermediates and beginners amongst you, compressing that time frame so that you can get your strategy together, that routine together, this can really help you along. So I hope those videos are useful to you, and I'll be posting these again and again. So the whole point of being a profitable trader, or one of the things that gives you the best chance, is to have your routine, have your strategy, and have your structure. And when you've got all of those three things in place, then you've got a shot. So I think in the next video, the routine continues. I will look at those ones that are on my watch list, go through them, and then I'll go through which ones I really plan to press that buy button with and take the trade. So come along, join me, and we'll see how they pan out. See you in the next one.